3 a.m. Rolling Stone, all I see is dust. We feel like rock stars, then we rock stars. Sex Pistol posters, they never heard of us. I guess I need that white bride in that white car. So raise your glasses on me, cause we soon to bring the masses on me and shut down our hometown. Fuck up shit. My homie John copped them grapes and they busted. Rollies and ravioli, you in the cover of Vogue, bitch. Don't look between the lines or it'll fuck up your mind. She let her smell a line, let it fuck up her mind.
She let us smell a line, let it fuck up her mind.
But the nights keep falling. What if the night keeps falling?
Oh shit.
What if the night keeps falling? Summertime was the illest. Used to pull up like it was Christmas. Wintertime first, it's too cold, told them give me mine. Last night had a dream, but I died too many times, but fuck moto.
Winter bust out.
Time to take some fucking photos. Fill up the dressing room with real and rich and Quasimodos. So we pop the champagne. So drunk, spill liquor all over her very wine. It's timeless, but how many people here know it's the timeless? Spend about a minute
like
on
a
it.
shovel pack.
From the front row to the stage, it feel different, don't it? So I'ma shine while I'm here, making mine while I'm here.
What's up, everyone, and welcome to the 2024 JPDL season. This is the inaugural episode of Commish Corner. Hopefully, we have more than 4 episodes this year. And look, guys, okay, hand up. All right, you see it? Hand is up. I know, last year and the year before that, we talked a lot about content and how that's the next progression for this league. And look, guys, I'm going to be front and center on this. I'm going to bear responsibility. I think that'll be a common theme of this show. It is me really bearing the brunt of the responsibility of this league. I think there's this misconception out there that because I won the championship last year, just dominated everyone else in the league, really made it look pretty easy the whole time. I think there's this notion that I'm just kicking my feet back, that I'm resting on my laurels, that I'm not coming with the same intensity. And I just want you guys to know that couldn't be further from the case. I mean, I worked tirelessly over the last month trying to find times with Ahmad and James that would work. Ahmad's always on vacation. He's basically a mogul. He's always at the movies. He's always making connections with people. James decides to go to Asia for a whole entire month. I've never seen a month-long vacation before. And it's just like, okay, you know what? If that means that I'm here by myself in my apartment recording at 10 p.m., then that's what it is. Because that's how much I care about you guys, And this is for any other commissioner out there, because I do want this to expand beyond this immediate league and just kind of take you into the journey of a commissioner and everything that we do. Everyone thinks that, it's such an easy job and, what are you really doing? You set the draft every year, maybe you make the schedule, you have to deal with a few problems throughout the year. No. This is a lot of work. And, I want to document how much I'm always thinking about the league, all the little decisions that I'm making that most people don't even notice, and people think this league is what it is by accident. Right. Good one. So I guess that's where I just want to start off and let this be a token of my, real passion for this league and passion for all of you. Everyone in this league was hand-chosen for a specific reason, okay? And I think the fact that we've had a continuity for the last 4 years without any replacements speaks to my benevolence as a commissioner. Were there moments for some of you, for all of us, where I was like, you know what? We could make a change here. Yeah, but I'm the kind of guy who likes to give second and third and fourth chances, okay? And here we are today. So where are we at a league? Should this be a little league state of the union? Where do I think we are? I think on a competitive level, we're about to enter a golden age. Okay, I think we have about 7 pretty competitive teams this year. You know, we had teams tanking for a few years, whether it's Ethan, James McCaskey, Ahmad. I mean, Chris is perpetually tanking, but, you know, all those people, Mark, all those people now are in prime position to kind of take over the mantle of the competitive teams in the league, which is good. You know, I like having turnover. You know, you guys think the fucking settings in this league are by accident? You think the fact that we have a 10-team league where 6 teams make playoff is by accident? No. Most leagues have 12 people and only 4 people make playoffs. Do you know what that does if you're rebuilding? That means that your 2 to 3 year rebuild inside this league turns into a 4 or 5 year rebuild there. Okay? The fact that we have smaller rosters, that's half PPR. That means it's more touchdown reliant. That means there's more variability in the scoring and more variability in outcomes. Guys, these are the things that I'm always thinking about for you guys. Okay? And I love the fact that teams can go from competitive, in the case of Mills, James Ball, Gilchrist, to the bottom in a couple of years. I like that there's windows. I like that you have to strategically choose when you're going to go all in. For me, that was last year. I kind of pushed all my chips in. Everyone's like, don't invest in running backs. Don't invest in running backs. Well, you know what? When you're playing half PPR, you're going to win with running backs. So yeah, so I went out, I got ETN, I got Breece Hall, I got, you know, Saquon Barkley when I didn't really need him. I went out, I got Nick Chubb. Did that work out? No. But it's all a part of the process. And that's where I like where we're at in the league. As far as competitively, I think we have top heavy teams, but I think we have a deep top this year. And you know, I think that reflects on, you know, the way this league is set up. And yeah, so just a quick kudos to everyone for really sticking with your rebuilds. And I think that the fruit of that labor will pay off this year. So that's where I think we're at competitively. As a league, you know, I think we've probably reached somewhat of our capacity outside of content. Outside, I think we need to extend our content. And I know that this is a yearly inflection point where I'll kind of bring this up, but there's nowhere else for us to really expand. I think as far as insulated in the league, we're good at making bits. You know, we're good at making jokes. We're good at you know, keeping the league chat going. I think it's pretty active as far as trades. You know, there are some organizations that are more trade happy than others, but I'm happy with the activity level and how much everyone's buying in week to week. So from that perspective, I think we're at a good place again. But yeah, I think we can do content. I think we can expand a little bit in that area. And again, hand up, guys. Like that ultimately falls on me. That's a failure. Okay? That's not easy for me to say. But if there's one thing that I am, it's accountable. And you guys know me. I've always been accountable in this league. I've always been the first one to step up. You know, if something's not going right, you know, I'm not one to make excuses. I'm not one to point fingers. I'm a big believer that everything that happens to you in life is your fault, good or bad. That's just the way it is. So for me, I just want to be making sure that, you know, I'm pushing for progress, and I haven't done a good job of that, whether it be for myself or pushing other people. So that's why I think 2024 is going to be a push on my part, and I hope you guys are excited to follow along in this journey. You know, a little reflection. You know, this is year 8 now, so we started this 7 years ago now, and pretty crazy. You know, I still remember, and maybe this will be a future episode, but going back to the first 30-something slide PowerPoint that I sent out at the inception of this league. Didn't think that it would turn out this way. Didn't know for sure. That was just me when I had no one in my corner. I had no goodwill built up as a commissioner, and that was just me with a dream, you know? And it's really, really just so gratifying to see where everything has come, and to know, like, you know, that's just what I've done as commissioner, you know? And you know, everyone else gets credit for that too. But just, you know, the next time you guys are pointing fingers at me, you know, just maybe keep that in the back of your mind, you know? But yeah, so for any other commissioners out there, you know, we all know this is a thankless job. We're kind of like the kickers in the NFL. No one cares when it's going good. The second an issue pops up, everyone looks at you. It is what it is. We didn't ask for this. You know, did we want power? No. The person who wants power is the person who should least have power. But we're the people that step up. We're the ones that see what a league could be. And we say, you know what? If no one else is going to do it, I'll do it. You know, everyone else is having fun right now. Everyone else is on college football. Not me. Not me. I'm over here. I'm already on 2026. I'm already working ahead. I'm looking at the schedule. I'm doing all the little things, right? And you know, they'll just be taken for granted. But that's what we do here. So that was topic one. Just wanted to give a little background of kind of where we're at. But let's go into some trades quickly. And then we'll get into the college football rankings for the league. Want to get into that. So 3 trades that really piqued my interest over the last few weeks. Not much activity over the last week. We kind of hit waves in a little bit in the offseason where there's moments of intense pulsing activity and then weeks where it's just standstill. So I don't know. I think with training camp coming up and more news and more position battle clarity, more lower kind of value guys having increasing in value, we could see more trades pop up. And as we get closer to season, veterans get more value as people are actually looking at their starting lineups for the first time, et cetera, et cetera. So hopefully we'll get some more trades to evaluate in the near future. No specific order here for these trades, but I'll go over mine first, just because obviously I have the best probably perspective on that one, at least from my point of view. But this one was me getting Najee Harris in the 2026 first from Ethan for Isaiah Pacheco and a 2026 fourth. So let's start off with the bit. Yes, I have a lot of 2026 firsts, okay? And at first it was a bit. At first it was because no one was valuing them. So it's I could ask for a 2026 3 or 4 in any deal and it wouldn't even change the equation of the deal. So I was just kind of picking them up as popcorn, or a little toss in. It's like the Five Guys, the extra fries they throw in the bag. That was how I was viewing it. But at this point, I feel like I'm kind of pot committed to that draft. I mean, what am I going to do now? I honestly can't bring myself to trade 2026 picks unless I'm getting one back. So even trading that 2026 fourth hurt. But let's be serious. Ethan has a real chance to win the league this year. Isaiah Pacheco, he's getting full head of steam. CH is the backup. We all know that's not a real thing. Jerick McKinnon, even he's kind of too old to really matter at this point. And they'll bring in a couple other guys, but I honestly do think Pacheco has crazy upside this year, so it kind of hurt trading him. I guess I see Najee as obviously with Arthur Smith coming into town, I just think he's going to get fed the ball a lot, and I'm not directly competing this year. After I won, I kind of took a step back, kind of tried to take a more long-term view, and kind of, I don't know, allocate more of my resources to evening out my window of competition, because as I said, I went all in on running back. So Najee, long story short, Najee for me is guaranteed touches, and I get a first in the future. But Pacheco, I agree, especially for Ethan for win now, I would do that deal if I was in his shoes. So I actually do think that's a win-win. And guys, can we take notes for a second? All of the vast majority of my trades are win-wins. So guys, come to me. Obviously, I'm always thinking about what's good for everyone else in the league. So that's the viewpoint I go into trades with. I don't go in trying to beat you guys in trades. I go in being oh, what does he need? Ooh, this would make the league kind of interesting. Oh, I like the way that shakes out. That's how I'm viewing it. So just feel free to come to me with any idea, and we can work through something. So that's a trade I really like for both sides. Let's go to a trade that I hate for Chris here. Chris gets Ramondre Stevenson and Kedre Miller for a 2025 first. My 2025 first. It might be late. But let's just try to think about this strategically, right? Again, Ethan is in a win now scenario. Okay? And you're trading a first round pick for 2 players that aren't in his starting lineup, right? How does that make sense, right? Hey, here's the guy that I'm trying to beat, okay? And the way I'm going to improve my team is by getting players that don't even factor into a starting lineup. How do you bring yourself to be like, yeah, let me make a win now move to trade with another win now team, and I'm going to take some of his bench guys? What? Doesn't that just mean that you don't, your team doesn't stack up even remotely? So Chris's running back room right now, you got Ramondre, you have Javonte Williams and people like that. I don't know, man. I know, and he has the young pieces. He has the Ayuk, who I guess is 25 now, but Marvin Harrison, he has the young guys to kind of build around. Garrett Wilson. And then you make a move like this, and it just leaves me scratching my head. And you wonder why an organization can go 7 years without a playoff win, and then you see trades like that, and then it kind of is like, yeah, you know what, that kind of checks out. So good trade by Ethan there. All right, again, Ethan, I guess he was pretty busy, but this is the hard one. This is the big trade, hard one to kind of grapple with, or even come up with who won, I guess, answering that question. But Ethan and Will, so I would say coming into his trade, these were two of the top 3 teams with a mod. So it's kind of interesting, win now teams trading with each other. But Will gets Tyreek Hill, Lamar Jackson, Devon Achane, and a 2025 third for CeeDee Lamb, Ezekiel Elliott, Justin Herbert, and James Conner. So let's try to do the little matchup game. I guess Lamar would be worth Herbert, Connor, and Zeke. I mean, I would rather have Lamar than all that, but for the sake of simplicity, let's just say Herbert, James Conner, Zeke for Lamar is somewhat even. Which means, let's just say it was canceled out, which means it's CD for Tyreek, Devon Achane, and a 2025 third. So I guess this trade really comes down to what you think about Devon Achane. Is he a flash in the pan, or is he like Jamal Charles 2.0, gonna break the league, gonna be the most efficient running back of all time, gonna actually stay healthy? And I think with Will, what I like here, I mean, obviously, anytime you might get the wide receiver 1 in Dynasty, I would still go Jettas, but, if you wanted to put CD1, CD's 2 or 3 at worst. And Herbert, so for Ethan right there, that's probably a more of a long-term kind of view. Obviously Tyreek's getting older. Achane you don't really know about. He's kind of a volatile asset, and Lamar's good, but Herbert's I think younger, and obviously Herbert's weapons will improve over time, and you get CeeDee Lamb for the next decade, putting up wide receiver 1 numbers. So, but I think Will wins the trade, but just because I feel like when you get into top 3 teams, you shouldn't be helping out your opponents. And if we're strictly talking about 2024, Lamar is much better than Herbert. Achane is going to be a top 6 running back, and Tyreek, I don't know, Tyreek and CD is probably a coin flip for this year. Connor's interesting, but Trey Benson will come on strong, and Ezekiel Elliott, who really cares? He doesn't really factor in. So, I mean, I like this trade more for Will. I understand it from Ethan's perspective, but for me it's I think the problem with dynasties sometimes is sometimes you have this view of building the perfect roster and this team that's going to win for the next 8 years or whatever, and you just try chasing at each position on your lineup like a 23-year-old stud. And sometimes I just think you need to accept a few veterans or just try to go all in. Sometimes I think you just need to throw your chips in the middle. And I think that's what Will's doing here. He also got Travis Kelce earlier in the week. So I think Will is now the massive favorite for this year. And I know that can be a little uncomfortable. I honestly do think fantasy is the worst when you actually have a chance to win. That's when the pressure gets highest. That's when it gets more annoying when you actually lose. It's way more fun to rebuild or just to kind of half throw away a year. Competing is not fun. It's all pressure. But so Will, I guess, assume the more uncomfortable position, but I like that trade for him. All right, so moving on to our third and final topic, college football rankings. So obviously the game comes out. I don't have it. do I feel like I'm missing out? Do I have FOMO? No, like not really. I mean, I'm just trying to improve myself in the real world. Everyone's trying to upgrade their characters in the game. I'm trying to upgrade my character in real life. That is what it is. And honestly, like, when you're the commissioner of a league, it's almost like everyone else in the league is like your kids, right? So like, if you're a dad, right, and like your kids are going out to play, oh, Dad, we're gonna go play basketball. Like, is there a small part of you that's like, oh, yeah, that sounds so fun. I'm sure of me. Yeah, but you're not gonna go play basketball with your kids. You're just happy vicariously through them. You're living through them. You see them throwing the basketball at the hoop, shooting around, and you feel happy that they're happy. And that's how I feel as a commissioner. So I'm just happy that everyone else is happy at the end of the day. But I just wanted to rank who I think, like, out of all 10 of us would be the best at the game, best at the game. And then out of the 5 or 6, I guess 6 people in the actual online dynasty, lay some odds who I think is actually going to win. So number 1, myself. I mean, all right, well, Ethan's 2. So I would say me and Ethan probably have a roughly 50-50 winning, record, head-to-head record over our careers, mostly, all in Madden, of course, but how different is college football really? At the end, it is still usering, and I don't know, it's all the same. Like, I know people are gonna say, like, oh, college football is so different. Like, the game, it's really not that different. Like, as far as clock management and the stuff that actually wins you games in higher level Madden, it's a lot of clock management, a lot of playing down and distance. You're using your stick work, like that stuff translates from game to game. As far as the specific plays and formations and whatever the meta is, like, obviously that's going to change, but I feel like me and Ethan would adapt best to that just from our experience. So I have us 2 in our own little tier. Then I have Chris in a tier by himself, and Chris is good. I think Chris, like, and maybe I'm a little biased here just because these are the people I played the most, so I'm going to rank them a little bit higher. But I feel like Chris's games are always weird. Like, with Ethan, it felt like normal Madden games, and we would just be playing. With Chris, I swear, like, it would always be low scoring or something weird would happen. Like, there would always be, like, a random kick return or something. But Chris is, like, a decent player. Like, he's, like, a solid B+ player. Like, he's gonna, if he showed up to a random party, like, he's probably beating almost anyone there. So Chris is good. I could see him winning the online dynasty. 4th, I have Will. And this one, those top 3, I feel really good about. Like, Will here, like, obviously I've seen Will play. Will is the classic, like, Will plays the game the way it should be played. I think me and Ethan and maybe Chris to an extent just kind of run, the same 3 plays or whatever, just get really locked into a specific scheme or where. Will is very much like, he plays pretty loose and, like, will play, like, a lot of different formations and doesn't really care as much if he loses. And, it's a joy to watch because, honestly, like, Madden and video games, I think video games get unfun when you get too good at them. Like, you can't enjoy the game anymore when you get too good, because then it's either you're beating people too easily and it's not fun, or you're in a sweat game. And those are really the only 2 options. And so you're either mad/stressed or you're bored out of your mind. And it gets really hard to find people that are on the same skill level as you that actually play in a fun way. So I actually think Will is at that perfect, like, I don't know, if you equate it to the Fortnite, right? Like, Will's, like, probably, like, the guy, like, getting, like, 6 or 7 kills and, like, can kind of build a little bit, and it's like, oh, he's having so much fun. Whereas, like, if you get too high up and you're building, like, building, like going into build battles and stuff, like, there's no way, like, you're not really even having fun anymore. And anytime you die when you're really good, you're gonna get really mad. Versus, like, if you're okay at the game and you die, you're like, oh, haha, like, you got me. I don't know. That's just the way I vote. Like, I think video games, it's very much like a bell curve. Like, they suck when you're really bad. and then you start getting good, and that's like the best. Like that's like taking crack or whatever. Like that's the best. And then you get really good, and then it's just a fall off from there. So Will got to the best part, I think, of being a gamer. Then I have kind of Gil, Mark, and Mills in their own tier from 5 to 7. Mark, I have no idea. I just know Mark plays FIFA. So I imagine he has somewhat, some stick skill. Pause. Mills, like, I feel like Mills is a CPU gamer. I don't know if Mills is an online gamer. I'm only judging off of what I've seen from Mills in Fortnite and stuff. So I don't know. I've heard, D-line user, stuff like that. That's going to be kind of tough to overcome. So I have Mills at 7, Gil at 5. I just know. Gil said he played 2 games and got destroyed, so that doesn't make me feel great. Honestly, Will's in his own tier at 4, and then Gil, Mark, and Mills are 5 through 7. Now moving on to, I don't really even know what to say with Gil. Like, I think Gil's just decent at video games. I feel like he was always pretty good at Fortnite. Decent at probably pretty decent at Rocket League or whatever. I just like his chances to adapt quicker than others. Then we get to 8 and 9, Ahmad and James McCaskey. Ahmad's maybe the worst video game player I've ever played with. It's like there's two kind of video game players. There's guys that are like pretty good across the board at a lot of games. And there's people that focus on a few specific games. So that was me. I was terrible at Fortnite. I'm terrible at pretty much all shooters. I'm okay at 2K. But Madden, focused all my attention and got really good at that. The problem with Ahmad, and Ahmad can say where Ahmad's core game is 2K, and I've beaten Ahmad at 2K more than he's beaten me. So it's like, Ahmad, if you're not even good at your core game, how am I supposed to take you seriously at any other game? I can't. So Ahmad is like, and I know I think I beat Ahmad 49-0 one time in Madden. So I'm just saying that, hey, based on my experience, if you got a core game, you gotta be good at your core game, dog. That's the only way you can gain respect. James, this is kind of I don't really know. I feel like I played Fortnite with James twice. I just and this might sound messed up. I just can't imagine James sitting down gaming like that. When I try to picture James playing with the controller and stuff, it just, it doesn't look right in my head, So I don't know. I feel like that doesn't make much sense, but in my mind it does. I can't picture. I feel James's main game was 2K2. I feel but I can't picture him playing 2K. I can't picture him grinding a game out. So I don't know. So I can't have him high. And then last is James Ball. I don't think James has ever played a video game, or at least I've never played with him. So yeah. So that's my list. As far as the online dynasty, if I was gonna lay down odds for the 6 people in it, I'm not gonna lie. Ethan might be minus 400, maybe minus 450 or something like that. I guess I'm not actually gonna do bang odds. I'll do odds of odds of winning. I think I would go Ethan 80, maybe 84%, 84% for Ethan. Chris 16%, and then everyone else is drawing dead. And if you're gonna extend it to Nate and Ryan, I would give Nate probably a better chance than Ryan. I guess I would put them. I think I'd put Nate above Gil. So I put Nate in the Will range. And Ryan, I have no idea, but I don't know. I just know Ethan's pretty good. Chris is decent. So I don't know if you guys can figure out some way to change the sliders or something like that, or hey, maybe you tell Ethan that he can't play. Ethan has to pick a new playbook each game or something like that. Do something to even it out. Because once Ethan gets a scheme dog, Ethan's gonna be on Madden Huddle. He's gonna be on watching all the YouTubers. He's gonna figure out the scheme, and then you're gonna play him, and you're gonna be oh my god, I can't stop this. So Yeah, I don't know. Try whatever you can to slow him down, because honestly, if you don't, like, Shenandoah is gonna have a dynasty. So that's gonna do it for this episode. Gonna try to keep these to around 30 minutes. Hopefully we can get guests to join every once in a while as everyone's schedules align. But yeah, training camp coming up. We'll be getting more news and everything. And as always, guys, just love from your commissioner. Gonna keep doing my best. Love y'all. Peace.